18 and a half lakhs. Last slide la nama paatha liya 8 to 9% inflation average range. This is 23% inflation. And Indian parents or the psychology they don't start saving early for the children's education. They always think for education loan எடுத்துக்கலாம் கடைசில போய் கடன் வாங்கலாம் and they fall into big debt trap and the burden gets shifted to kids and they keep paying those loans. Our parents have done that mistake, but when you all become parents, start saving at a very, very early stage. You guys are understanding this? So inflation is the very, very key killer, and all my presentation will be revolving around if you understand that, you all will understand investments very, very easily, and why you need to save at a very, very early stage. Because what is happening today is, I think, preferably when me, Akbar and all grew up, we didn't have so much of resources. Resources were very limited. But today's generation, the resources are plenty. You people are having, smartphones, you're having televisions, you're having iPads, you're having laptops, your parents are ready to support into, better education, right? You guys have got, two-wheelers, cars, whatever. Today the resources are plenty, but please use it. And please use it potentially. Today, the moment somebody gets the pocket money, he tries to blow it off. And that is happening across. It may not be, it may not be with this group, but normally I'm trying to say this is what is happening because today's kids are getting pampered to the core. You can't even shout at them. When we were kids, we used to get one pair of dress or Pudu Tuni Diwali Kadika or Pudu Tuni Pongal Kadika. But today people are spending on clothes unnecessarily, they just pile it up. Which is not even being used. And so much of wastage is happening on a regular basis. Those things we need to really take a look at it. And if invested potentially, you can really do a lot of wonders. And the other important opportunity here is when we say there is a lot of, we keep talking about in our language, we talk about demographics. Demographics is nothing but the young population in the country which we have. Right? Can you just guess approximately what is our country's population? Just a guess. 130 crores, 140 crores, right? Approximately. What is the young population as a percentage? Can you just guess? 60 to 70. Anybody else? Under the age of 15 years. 33% of the population is below the age of 15 years. This is the kind of workforce which is coming in. And that's why India, we are called as an emerging economy. And if this workforce is channelized properly and if you get jobs, I think we will flourish as an economy for the next 15, 20, 30 odd years. That's a kind of potential. The earning potential will be very high. Along with your earning potential, you have to save along with it. Because like I've said, today's youngsters are having too much of resources. The other big mistake what an youngster does is, as soon as he finishes his MBA and gets into a job, the first thing he does is he goes and leverage. He goes and takes a loan. Which is very wrong. The first thing what you need to do is after your main requirement, you need to save. During our parents' time, our parents used to take, at the age of 50, he used to build his first house. Today, an youngster wants to take a loan to a house, a car, his bike, and he has huge amount of debt accumulated in credit cards. Our life full of the EMI are cutting. Never do that mistake. First, you need to save. You need to have an emergency reserve. Then you accumulate some bit of saving. You can buy one house, right? People today buy 2, 3 houses. I'll also come, why real estate from an investment point of view is not very sound when you're trying to buy 2 or 3 houses. So I'm just going to ask you a question. Since we're talking about equity markets and people should move away from the traditional investments of FD, post office and other things. Again, I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to say that all your money should be invested into equities. You have to diversify depending upon what is the risk appetite. If you retire, he will be in the age of 60. That means 60% of his monies can be invested into proper, might be a post office, bank FD, but at least the 20-30% have to be invested into assets which are yielding in higher returns in order to beat In order to beat inflation. Good. So Akbar, I think there's a lot of concentration. So let us say I'm going to ask you a question. State Bank of India, if I give you 100 rupees or if I give you a lakh of rupees, where will you invest? Will you buy a fixed deposit of SBI or will you buy a share? Buy a share. You are proving your MBAs. Good. See, what am I trying to say is even an FD, right? There is something called this, deposit insurance credit guarantee cover. One bank can be bankrupt right to even if you have 10 lakh rupees in the bank, you will only get 1 lakh rupees. I'm not saying that banks will go bust. Government of India will try to do something. But what I'm trying to say is, if you just see this, somebody would have invested in 2001, 1 lakh rupees in State Bank of India, right? In bank FD, he would have made 3.2 lakhs. In an SBI share, from 2001 to 2014 for a 14-year period, 1 lakh rupees would have become 19 lakh rupees. Same thing, we talk about our stock markets are very volatile, market on the middle. Why? Because people don't stay invested in the market and they don't buy quality companies for long term. I've told you about Warren Buffett, right? The most intelligent investor in the world. Our stock markets, BSE Sensex, in the last 30 years has given an average annual return of 17% for a period of 30 years. 17%. FDs have yielded you 8%. Warren Buffett's portfolio, 50 years, has yielded 22% annualized return. That means your long-term average return is in the band of 15 to 17% in equity markets. Right? So this is stock and FD. Same thing if you look at mutual funds. Is it clear, the screen? Okay, this is fixed income mutual fund, 1 lakh would have become 3.7. If you would have invested in gold, it would have become 6 lakhs. Equity would have become 6.6 lakhs. Again, this is another interesting slide. This is called Sensex. This is National Housing Bank. See, like I said, you can buy one house. But people today buy 2-3 houses, they buy 4-5 plots, right? If you can afford it, fine. But at the same time, there is also a lot of problem like you can't liquidate it on time. And if you just take an example, if you have invested 100 rupees in real estate and 100 rupees in Sensex, the burgundy color is Sensex, the pale color is real estate. 2007 to 12, real estates have done very well. Markets have not done well. It would have given you 156 rupees for a period from 2007 to 12. 2007 to 13, again, real estates have done well. Markets have not done well. But if you take from 2017 to 2014, just see markets have shot up. So what are we trying to say here is, time in the market is very important rather than timing the market. And when we today talk about equity markets, people wanted to do gambling. Okay, stocks mangla. No. And many people do a mistake of taking a loan and buying shares, which is even more worse. You should buy only equities after you spend, right, in terms of your potential requirements, whatever it is. Whatever is left over has to go into your savings of emergency requirements. Then you should start allocating into asset classes for a longer duration. Because wealth creation can happen only over a long period of time. You, I can earn salary over a period of time. Today we can make money and other things. But if you want to create wealth, it can happen only over a period of time. Like the Ambanis or the Tatas, you take Bill Gates, anybody, Narayana Murthy's, they have all created wealth over a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. So money making is not that easy. You need to have the discipline and a lot of study. One more thing, I think this is an old saying that don't put all your eggs into one basket. You need to diversify it. You need to diversify your risk. I'll give you another example of real estate. There is this place called Samudra Mahal in Bombay. Have you heard about it? It is one of the very expensive places. 1 square feet was 600 rupees per square feet. And that was in 1970s. And in 2011, 600 rupees per square feet went to 1 lakh rupees. That is 167 times in 41 years. real estate. Okay, 1 lakh 1 square feet, excluding maintenance and repair charges. So what is the compounding annualized growth return? 13%. You all understand compounding returns? Compounding and simple interest, all of you understand? Compounding is the most effective thing in equities. Because simple interest le vandhu 100 rupees potana, if I get 10%, by year end I get 10 rupees. The next year I make it 20. In compounding what happens is my 100 becomes 110. Then the 110 I get 10%. That means the next year instead of 120 I get 121. So equity is all about compounding. I'm telling it in a very simple format, and that is the eighth wonder. That's what Albert Einstein is told. Compounding is the eighth wonder, and that is what equities is all about. And people don't realize that. Sorry. So coming back to this, so this property has given 13% CAGR, compounding return. That means 13% annualized you would have got. Just imagine. And same thing, 1980, the stock market started at 118 points. All of you want Sensex? Sensex alla paakirudhiya, CNBC, alla you are MBA students, right? You all should at least read Economic Times and other things. Sensex at 2011 July, for the same period I took an analysis, it was 16,839. Just see here, 16.97% is what the market is delivered. That means, dear friends, on compounding, every 0.5% of compounding, it creates a lot amount of money. If you are using financial calculators, please calculate that and see. Every 0.5% for a period of 1, 2 or 5 or 10 years, it creates a huge amount of difference in money. In the past, you will only be thinking it's only 3%. What does it mean? But compounding really, makes a huge amount of difference. Coming to gold, all of us love gold as Indians, right? We are very, very emotionally connected to gold. And even when I say I wanted to invest in mutual funds, my wife always says gold. She's very much here, so she's going to bombard me once I go. But if you see gold, we are very emotionally connected. Any jewelry, we cannot sell it. We'll get beaten up. Right? Like Warren Buffett says, I don't know why this metal is digged out of the planet. Right? Again, we dig it into the planet in the form of safety, and there is security guards to safeguard. It's an asset which is required just from a safety point of view. You need to have 100 rupees in the 20% of it can go into gold. But today people, they invest like predominantly 80, 90, 100% everything into gold. I'll just give you a small, analysis which I made. 1970 to 1979, for a period of 9 years, gold has given you 31% annualized return. 1980 to 1989, no return, minus 4%. அப்படினா நீங்க 100 ரூபாய் கோல்ட்ல போட்டுட்டீங்கன்னா at a minus 4%, your 100 rupees would have become something like 70 rupees. You have not made any return. Again from 1990 to 1999, you would have made again negative return. So for a period of 20 years, your asset wouldn't have yielded you anything. You made minus 8%. You literally not earned anything. If you would have valued your investment, if you would have marked to market it. You guys are understanding? Wake up. Huh? Is it boring or is it interesting? Okay. If it's boring, please stop it. So what am I trying to say here is, for a period of 26 years, and after that next 20 years, gold has given you 14% and 13%. Now just imagine, ஒரு asset invest பண்றீங்க, 20 வருஷத்துக்கு உங்களுக்கு அதுல ரிட்டர்னே இல்ல. Today also when you are going and buying gold, why are the jewelries making more of money? நீங்க ஒரு சவரன் போய் வாங்குறீங்கன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, first wastage எல்லாம் போடுறோம். அதுலயே 30% gone. Okay? He is charging you 100 rupees. When you walk out of the shop, your gold worth is only 70. Because you are already paying wastage, everything for it. After 1 year, you are going to sell back. 70 ரூபாய் உங்களோட value, but market value பார்த்தா 100 ரூபாய் வந்துட்டு 130 ரூபாய் இருக்கு. But உங்களோட books la value patana, it's come back to 100. You go again, he'll again charge you wastage and other things. So literally you earn nothing on that asset. Adi or normal FD la potrna, your 100 would have become 110. You go with little bit of appreciation. I'm not saying no to gold. It is a very good asset in case of any risk because globally it is accepted. Naliki currency is the problem. Our currency value gold you can go and sell it anywhere. Anybody will buy. US, Australia, China, but the problem is you cannot have all your investments into gold. And India for generations we've been buying gold. And we are just accumulating it. So diversify it. I'm not telling that gold is a bad investment. Even I have a little bit of gold in my portfolio, but buying everything into gold is what. So that's why I put this slide across. So 62% fall in prices for a period of about 1970 to 2010. 20 years of no returns is like a crime in any asset class. Okay, I'll skip all this because these are all little bit, it will become too heavy for you guys. I'll straight away go into, equities and overview. Who's the god of cricket? Amazing. So what we have done is we have put Sachin and Sensex. A comparison, how does it look? Yeah. Sachin started off his journey in 1989 to 2013, roughly. Right? Even I love cricket. We used to play in these military hospital grounds like crazy. From morning till evening, we never even used to go and have food. This is his career. 199 matches, 328. In the full profile, what you need to note is 53.72 has been his average run rate. You might be thinking 53.2 is not a great run rate. 20 years career, he's maintained 53, which is not a joke. Bradman, he played for 6 years. I think his average was 90. But what am I trying to say this is, 53 runs, average for 20 years consistently. The word consistent is what very, very key here. Is very, very important because if I put Sachin's career as a graph, it will look like this. Doesn't look like Sensex stock market, up, down, up, down. But if you see this red line, that's his average. And he's maintained that. Just I'm relating this to Sensex and Sachin. Why? Because we treat Sachin as god of cricket. Same thing when it is coming to Sensex. Sensex also had bad years like Sachin. If you see Sachin, 1989, his average is what? No, what is his average? 53.72 was his average. But if you see in 1989, he didn't play well. He scored only 35 runs. That was his average for the whole of 1989. And the Varsha Fulla, he didn't play well. 1991, the whole year, his average was only 19. 1995, his average was 29. That means, out of his 24 years, he had 7 bad years. God of cricket, a person who does consistently very well. You guys are getting what I'm trying to relate to? There is something called consistently, and you have to be disciplined to get a better average. That's the key message which I'm trying to drive. Short-term gratification you will get, but it will not lead you to a longer way. That's what initial presentation when I said, update yourself, learn, keep on learning. That will take you to a different level altogether. The moment you think, I'm done with my MBA and I'm into a job and I'm not going to learn, that is where it will stop. You guys are getting it? And this is Sensex. Sensex also had bad 7-8 years. In spite of that, like I've told, in 30 years, markets have delivered 17% average return, which has beaten all your asset classes. Either it was gold, or it was FD, or it was real estate, it's beaten everything. You guys are able to understand the average return? And if you see from 1979 to 2014, the more you stay in the markets, the negative returns gets eliminated. If you see here, the year 1, 33 observations we have made in the market. What happens is, your average return is 21% and But what happens is you always have a negative return. As you increase the tenure to 3, 5, 10 and 15 years, the negativity, if you see the minimum return, completely turn into positive. You all understand? Because the more you stay in the market, the better it is. This is the rolling return based on Sensex. Here it clearly says 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year and 15 year. The longer you stretch, the negativity of your asset completely gets eliminated. The time you stay in the market. Clear? So if you take India as a perspective, this is another important point which I wanted to make. We have something called foreign institutional investors. You heard about this term? Foreign institutional investors. What happens is, if you see here, from 1992 to 93 to 2013-14, foreign institutional investors are like individual large investors, large companies. They've been investing into our Indian markets. They're buying our HDFC Bank stock, they're buying our Infosys stock, they're buying our Wipro stock, they're buying our Tata company stocks. And what we are doing as residents, we buy washing machines, we buy home loans, we buy car loans, right? நம்ம EMI கட்டிட்டே இருக்கோம். அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, he is buying our company stock and he is creating wealth. He is actually making the money and we are actually paying EMIs and we are not creating wealth. That is a big difference in our country. The Indian psychology is that. And just imagine, this guy is from 1993 to 2014, he's been loving our country, he's been buying our companies. And that's why today if you break up 100 rupees of Indian household, ella veetli vandu or 100 rupaya irundhuchana investment, 98 rupees, 95 rupees will be into gold, real estate and fixed deposits. 1 or 2 rupees, some people who are having that awareness will be buying into shares and other things. But what is happening is, this is actually taking away all our wealth from our country. 1947 முன்னாடி பிரிட்டிஷர்ஸ் வந்துட்டு ஃபுல்லா கொள்ளையடிச்சிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. He took away all our resources, he took away all our diamonds. Today, FIs are actually doing that and we are not even realizing that. And it is a very, very important point, guys. Tomorrow, once you get into jobs, if you do the same mistake, like I've said initially, today's youngsters, especially it's worst in Delhi, is what I heard. Some of my colleagues used to say, the moment he gets into a job, the first thing he wants to go and take a car loan. Never do. See the companies, foreign holdings, HDFC 77% is what he is holding. The balance is held by the promoters, then with the public of India. See the kind of money, that means on every 100 rupees he will take away 70 rupees which is getting generated. People are understanding this? Is it boring? Yeah? No? When I say no, you should say yes. No? Yes, sir. No? Yes, sir. You guys understood this? No? Yes, sir. Good. Good to keep you awake. I think after lunch it's very difficult. Yeah. So one more thing is, 4 reasons why, the foreign institutional investors are in love with India. The word LOVE. Yes. See? That's why I put this slide. Youngsters will always like it. But though we talk about, today's Modi government has changed a lot. But for L, I say it as leadership. The real leader is, this guy, this gentleman? Shit, man. He's Raghuram Rajan, R.K. Garner. That's why I asked, who's this guy? I didn't say who's the guy who's holding the gun. Anyway, you see R.K. Garner, Raghuram Rajan, he's the real leader. After he came in, he made a lot of changes, in the RBI norms in terms of NRI deposits. Then what had happened is our economy started really making a shift. Then with this positive election, the Modi government has come in and there we have seen a good amount of growth which was happening. And for O, it is oil and commodities. oil, crude oil, kacha enne. We were buying, and we are a huge importer of oil. We were buying oil at 110 and $120 a barrel, right? Today, what is happening? That is fallen to $40 odd a barrel. So what has happened is, because of that, and we import. Number one, we keep importing. So what happens? Our forex reserves completely got saved, and that is one of the major reasons foreign institutional investors started liking India after the 2008 crisis. So one is leadership, one is oil and commodities. The other thing is valuation. We got something called the markets in terms of we evaluate how expensive or how cheaper it is. Normal over mall corona we see a discount, right? Buy one shirt, you get another shirt free. When it's a discount, we rush into it. Markets also, when they are in the form of discount, when the markets go on, we don't buy markets. We almost get scared and we run away. So there is something called valuation. When in 2008, markets were at in the band of 25-26,000. There is something called PE ratio. So that is the which will give you the value whether it is expensive or cheap. Appa patana PE levels were at like 23 was the PE. Today at 23-24,000, markets are valued at 17-18 PE, 17 times. That means it's literally available cheap. That's what is called as valuation. That means when you buy the markets cheaper, after 3, 4, 5 years, you will try to make more returns and better returns. That means really your profitability will go up. That also is called valuation. And again, there is something called as corporate earnings growth or the earnings revival. In our country, our economy, if you see the corporates have started making good amount of profits, and because of emerging economy, there's a lot of foreign investment which is happening. So these are the 4 reasons why foreign institutional investors love India. And as Indian investors, as Indian citizens, we don't love our stock markets at all. We only wanted to take EMIs. Okay, this is all, wanted to say that we are out of this fragile 5 economies. 2008 you heard about subprime crisis? 2008 subprime crisis, Lehman crisis. Economy was bad, right? So we are out of that. We used to be part of fragile 5 economies. India, we were previous Philippines, Indonesia, Russia, where the currency was bad, their current account of deficit was weak, inflation was very high. So we were also treated as a very, very bad economy. We are not growing at all because Congress government literally, that did a lot of worse things. Not doing investments, projects approval economy was not growing. Power company you borrowed money from the bank, but your project approval your money was stuck and you are not generated. So what happens is you started becoming a loss-making company. Like that, many sectors went in and the economic growth was completely stagnated. We really didn't move ahead. I'm just putting it in a very, very simple. Now we are out of that. And today's government, the Modi government, is actually ease of doing business. They are also doing a lot of financial inclusion, like everybody need to have a bank account. You heard about that? Everybody need to have a bank account. Because of that financial inclusion, they collected some 15,000 crores. I think in a span of 1 week, the Modi government, after they introduced it. Even in this budget, there's a lot of policies which is done for the rural government, like from infrastructure, doubling the farmers' income. Area the rural economy. So what are we trying to say is this financial inclusion is part of that. Investment push, foreign policy initiatives is easing it. Although the foreigner wanted the business there is a lot of policies which is they're clearing up the projects. The moment the government is very stringent, approval land what will happen is people will not come and invest. Because for example, if I wanted to invest 500 crores to make some project, that will give a lot of employment opportunities, right? Surroundings will start growing. But what happens, the moment I give approval, then I put a block. I've also borrowed money and I've invested there, but again, a project was initiate the last 10 years of Congress government, our economy went into a big amount of doldrums. We were stuck in it. But today's government is actually, doing a lot of these in terms of investment push, and they're also doing a lot of digital experience. They wanted to give a lot of, technology to rural economies. They wanted to ensure that technology goes into, more than the big cities. So a lot of work is happening on the government. So as an economy, we are really well positioned. And as youngsters, I think there is good amount of growth which will really look into it. So what I wanted to say is, saving versus investments. Savers are losers, right? Investors are winners. What do I mean by this? If I just save and keep money into my bank account, if it doesn't grow, the money, you're working hard to earn money, right? That money has to work harder for you. If it doesn't work harder, in the retire of both, you will not have a sufficient kitty to retire. Like I said, inflation will eat into your returns. Very, very important. So you need to invest. Whatever you save, you have to invest. And in short, save, don't invest. That means, உங்களோட time frame வந்துட்டு less than 1 year, less than 6 months, அந்த மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா save பண்ணுங்க. Because might be, your father is saving for your next term fees, right? Or might be for a daughter's marriage, or if you want to buy a car next 6 months, அந்த மாதிரி timeல save, put it into some traditional investment which are safer. When it is long term, you wanted to plan for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, then you invest. You guys understood this? In long term invest, don't save, right? Summing it up, it's very emotional and perspective when it is coming to investments. Like I said, time in the market is very important rather than timing it. You can never say that in the time you are correct and enter panna correct or if you are having a time frame of 5 years, 10 years, attach it to a goal. When I say a goal, you want to build a house, you want to buy a car, you want to go abroad. That is a goal. Attach your investments to a goal and then start investing into it. The moment you time it, whether is this the right time, there is nothing called the right time. You can never time the market because the market is 1,000 times or 100 times more smarter than us. So always, time in the market is very important rather than timing it, and be a proud Indian. Yeah? So thanks a lot. It's a very, very short presentation where I thought I'll cover all aspects of life, right from asset classes, inflation and other things. So I'll be very happy to take questions if you have any. Yeah? Yeah, so if you come to mutual funds, there are various investment avenues. There is something called a liquid fund, which is for as short as 1 day. You invest funding in it. The normal on the fund corporates, big HNIs, very, very corporates, for example, Railtech many professors right? They have something called a salary date. So the salary date, they will be accumulating some corpus. It can be like 5 crores, 10 crores, whatever. Large corporates, big corporates like Infosys, whatever, that money they invest for 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days. If you bank FD there is a minimum lock-in period. Liquid funds there is no lock-in. So, for example, if you invest some money, that fund generates like 7-8%, and let us say you give me the redemption today. We call it as redemption or withdrawal, right? In mutual fund terminology, we call it as redemption. You have to give me before 3 o'clock, or before 12. The money will get into your account by tomorrow 10 o'clock. That's called a liquid fund. It operates something like a current account, better return, highly liquid, and the money which we collect, we invest into high quality instruments. Like we buy, treasury bills, we buy big companies' corporate bonds, right? So it's very highly liquid, and we also have long-term investments like equity funds, right? And those equity funds are all investing into markets. We buy stocks and other things. So if you're youngsters, you wanted to, once you get into the job, and if you wanted to invest, for my son, he is also studying in college, my elder son, both the sons. But my elder son, I started off something called systematic investment plan. I sent him money, to his hostel expenses, and I opened an account in equity fund. So every month SIP, he keeps investing 1,000 rupees automatically. So by the time he is out of his college, he will accumulate like 3-4 lakh rupees, whatever. So what happens? There is a simple terminology. Once you guys get into jobs, every 30% of your salary you need to save. As you grow older, the moment, like I say, you are 50 years, 50% of your salary should go into savings. Then you can have a very comfortable life. Major expenses are like medicines. We have to buy water. There's a lot of expenses which we are coming in, and everything is very costly. The moment you step out of your house, it's very expensive. Just imagine, you're coming out from your house, you're coming to college. First a week living. Aadhaar card, how will you feel? Do you feel secure? You feel very insecure, right? Same thing, if you don't have a financial security or financial freedom, you will not be able to sleep properly. But many people, 90% of them, they get into this debt burden. They don't want to save. Okay, pasanga vandu college pogudu appo poi kadan vaangikalam, bank loan vaangikalam, and they fall into debt trap. So since you guys are all young, you start saving from a very, very early stage. And since equities are all about compounding, you can create wealth over longer periods of time. There are many such examples, people have made huge amounts of money by investing into equities, but at the same time, consult your financial advisor, go to a proper bank, analyze which fund you are buying, which product you are buying. Don't blindly get into stock markets. Don't just blindly go and invest. You will burn your fingers. Because you need to really understand a lot and take experts' advice, which is very, very important. But save at a very, very early stage. Because today what is happening is with youngsters, they wanted to blow up everything because entertainment is in plenty. Either you go to movies or whatever. Because today if you even go to a INOX theatre, the average spend is nothing less than if you two people go, you need to spend 1,000 rupees minimum. Including your popcorn, you pay for a fee, a ticket. That expensive it is, but we don't realize it. Your average monthly expenses, they go to restaurant. I'm talking about a husband and wife, a working couple without kids. They go for 3 movies in a month. They go for restaurant 2-3 times. Average spend is nothing less than 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. But if you knock off that and save for a better future, I'm not telling that this entertainment should not be there. It should be there. But today they blow up too much. Now, in 2000, when I was in Bangalore, I went and met one IT professional. Okay, that guy was earning that time, I think about somewhere around 22,000 rupees in 2001, which is a big money. He was having 7 pairs of sports shoes. 7 pairs of sports shoes, credit cards, debt. When you're young, you don't want to send money to your parents unless or until there is huge amount of difficulty in terms of where the parents have really brought him up. So these are all the things which are happening. People blow up on gadgets. So what I'm trying to say is, ensure that you spend wisely. I'm not telling that you should not enjoy, you should not buy. Have it wisely, but at the same time, saving is very, very critical, which we don't realize at all. So since you're youngsters, I'm telling you, every penny earned today and served today is very, very important than a penny spent. Because I have told my kids, if you just make a phone call and ask them how much you need to save, they say 30% of my salary should go into savings. That's how, we keep grinding into their head. Because the moment they know that, dad is sending me money and I can blow it up, you can just blow it up. The resources are plenty and kids are pampered. So coming back to your liquid fund thing, mutual funds are highly liquid. We have something called funds are open-ended. Even in equity funds, you can withdraw it in span of 3 days. There is something called T+3 concept. There is no lock-in at all. But the discipline is you need to stay invested for long term. So people coming in equities for short term because markets are volatile. Like I keep saying in all the presentations, markets go down, but they don't stay down there. Markets, once the economy, it's all depending on a lot of factors. Yeah, so thanks a lot for having me here.
What is the result of MBA?
Yeah.
And you are handling 13 lakh crores.
Yeah, 13 lakh crores. All mutual funds put together. Our AMC is managing about 39,000 crores.
So what is the career for these guys?
Yeah, so for MBA, I don't know whether what is your major, HR or finance, whatever.
We have everything.
You have everything. Especially for MBA finance graduates, you have various options in banking, insurance and other industry. Because in our industry, I like a particular profession called fund manager, portfolio manager, or a guy who manages the money. So we are the sales guys. We all go to banks and other things, talk about our products and we mobilize money. And I travel across South. I talk to big corporates. I talk about our products. But this portfolio manager is a very niche segment. Either you need to do your MBA portfolio management, CFA, which is Chartered Financial Analyst, or also you can do your, CFP you can do, but it's not that much, Certified Financial Planner. Or it's basically, money managing profession. So for my younger son, after his engineering, I'm actually telling him to do that. It's a very niche profile. The salaries are really immense. Today I think a couple of weeks back we had an analyst who's joined in our company, equity analyst. His starting salary is something like 20 lakh rupees. So for portfolio managers. So if you guys are really interested in that, think about a chartered financial or CFA kind of a course, or if you're already doing MBA finance, get into an analyst job, equity analyst, portfolio analyst kind of a job. And why I'm trying to say this is, in the profession பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மொத்தமே வந்துட்டு all Indiaல ஒரு 500-600 பேர் தான் இருப்பாங்க. Then you also have this nice profession called actuarial science, which is also an amazing profession where you can really but you need to be very strong in statistics and maths and all. But this portfolio manager is one thing which I really love. But since I didn't have so much of resources at that point in time, we didn't have so much of awareness. But for my younger son, my elder son is planning to do his computers. But my younger son, I'm actually planning to send him to that. It's all equity analyst because you learn about economy, you know about sectors in your fingertips. Because the moment you become an analyst, you need to know about all sectors: oil, commodities, auto, steel, and you'll keep meeting those managing directors, those vendors, understanding how his business is, profitability, every retail, and you keep investing into those companies because you're managing people's money. And his job is only to do that. And I can give you some examples like most of these guys are IITs and IIMs, but there are some exceptions who's also done MBA finance in some of the colleges. So if you take some of my portfolio managers who are sitting in Bombay, there is this gentleman from South, R. Shivakumar. He's managing our fixed income portfolio. He's an IIT from Chennai and I am from Ahmedabad. Then we have guys who's also done MMS finance in Bombay, who are all portfolio managers. So you have to do this course and you need to have a proper understanding of markets, but it's a very good profession which I would suggest. Other you have a lot of sales jobs, bank jobs, right from life insurance companies. I would suggest selling financial product is very good, but depends, because today if you see the life insurance companies are all nothing bad about it, the pressure is very high. And we don't know whether they're really justifying by doing that. Then insurance you have to take only a life cover. Because salary, for example, 10 lakhs. So that means I have to take, let us say, today, if I invest 10 lakh rupees in a bank FD at 10%, approximately, let us say, I'm getting 10,000 rupees. So in your absence, like family can the right? So that means I have to take an insurance cover for 10 lakh rupees. And an insurance company, so you need to take something called a life cover where your premium is less, your cover is large. Outflow is the cost coming. But what is happening today is people sell you endowment policies where your premium is high, which is not required. You have a lot of other investment avenues in mutual funds. Because you get a charge pay from it, that's very important. Other policies are 7%, 15%. That means if you invest 100 rupees, 7 rupees, 15 rupees goes away. I don't know if any of your parents or LIC agents, sorry for it, but I would say if you're taking a life insurance, just take a life cover. Where your cover is huge, your premium is less, which is a smart way of taking it. And from a career point of it, life insurance, yes, but if you guys are getting into some sales and all, I would say, sales, get into financial advisory jobs. Akbar, that's what I would suggest. Where you talk about various finances, when you go to clients, like banks are having a lot of, they take relationship managers, those professions are good. Then a portfolio manager is at the top, literally. But it's not easy, you need to struggle for it. Bank level, you have relationship managers. That's also a very good profession. And same in mutual fund companies. And you have non-banking finance companies like Bajaj Capital, NJ, Carby. These guys also, take a lot of wealth managers. So these are all, good professions which you can look at. lot of potential is there in finance because investment awareness in our country is still at a very nascent stage. If we ask anybody today, they'll talk about PPF, they'll talk about fixed deposits, right? They'll talk about insurance, but there is something beyond that. I'm actually happy that I'm into this field, and I'm also educating my kids wherever I try to share knowledge. I keep talking to people. Please look into it, but do a thorough study, update yourself, and plan it accordingly. In investments, discipline is very important, and staying invested is very important because for a goal you fix pannittingana, in 5 years I wanted to buy this, I wanted to buy a house, stick on to it and save for it, don't break it. We have something called systematic investment plan. They invest, but nadula they break it up. Then you will not be able to achieve your goal. If I have to give you an example, curdling process, how do you do it? Then you put it in the fridge, right? Then you leave it for 8-9 hours. You will get a fine curd. Just imagine every 1 hour night will you get a nice curd? Investment is also similar to that. You need to have that discipline. You have to stay invested to achieve your goals, which is very key. Okay. They wanted me to leave, so yeah, like I've told, bank investments on the fixed deposits, which is very traditional investment. And like I've said, retire depending upon his age, regular income to take care of his retirement. A major portion of the FD interest 80% interest na உங்களுக்கு விலைவாசி உயர்வும் 8%. உங்க inflation 8% இருக்கு. But if you're investing into capital markets, like I said, 20 years பாத்தீங்கன்னா 30 years average return 17% இருக்கு. So நீங்க ஒரு bank FD ல கொஞ்சம் போட்டுட்டு you should also buy into equity market so that the விலைவாசி உயர்வை you will be able to beat. உங்களோட purchasing power ராப் ஆகும். நான் இப்போ ஒரு பென் வாங்கணும்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. I want to buy a pen. The pen is costing me 10 rupees. Okay, so what happens? I'm saving 100 rupees to buy that pen. So I'm investing into an instrument which is yielding me 8%. So year end average, I've invested 100 at 8%. I got 108. The pen is costing me 10. So inflation is there, right? So when I go to the market, will I be able to buy that pen? No. So capital markets is all about equity investing and compounding. So that's what a bank FD and capital market is all about. In capital markets, your compounding returns are better than a traditional bank FD. But depending upon your risk appetite, you need to diversify. As youngsters, if you are at 20, right? If you are earning now, out of your 100 rupees, 80 should go into equity, 20 should go into fixed income. But if your dad, if he's at 70 rupees should be into traditional investment because for him safety is more important than return. But at the same time, 20 to 30 rupees have to be invested into equity markets in order to, like I've told that FD investor in Tata Finance when I was working.
So it's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So considered compared to the institutional investors, the returns to the individual investors will be very less, especially in the equity. That's what actually you are in tradition of saving. So that's what your make us to come to the investments, you will get such a huge profit compared to the traditional things. You are showing so many of lucrative points, but practically, even myself, I have suffered very lot. So what I feel that those who are the institutional investors, they are going to be get more, especially like this type of investments. Like me, so like a small individual investors, you are not get that much of sufficient of fund. You accept or
So it's very simple. See, institutional investor, he's investing bulk.
yeah.
Okay, let us say if I am an institutional investor, I am investing 1 crore, if I get 10% return, then what happens? I am going to get 10 lakhs. If you are a retail investor, if you are investing 1 lakh rupees, 10% you will get 10,000 rupees. That's the only difference. But in terms of returns from investments, there is nothing much of this one. I don't think because they are all investing into the same asset class. If a Whaltech institution or stock on which Whaltech institution or stock, let us say it is trading at 100 rupees. I am an institutional investor, right? Now, what do you put it? நீங்க வந்துட்டு 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் போட்டுருக்கீங்க, நீங்க ரீட்டைல் இன்வெஸ்டர். ஸ்டாக் வந்துட்டு 10% ரிட்டர்ன் கொடுத்துருக்கு ஒரு வருஷத்துல. எனக்கு என்னோட வேல்யூக்கு 10% கிடைக்கும், உங்களுக்கு உங்களோட வேல்யூக்கு 10%. That is lot of transparency. That is in equity.
I am not saying that they are getting such a high, you are getting such a not like that. So those who are the institutional investors, they have a strong financial background. So
Yeah.
they can able to sustain for a long period of time, and
Yes.
when the time comes, they can take so much of amount. They know very well.
Yeah.
But like me as a retail investors,
Awareness is less.
yeah.
No, that's why, like I've said, in between my presentation, you need to approach bankers, you need to approach professional advisors. Because the moment you take individual opinion by herd mentality, இன்னைக்கு டிவி சிஎன்பிஎஸ் ஆன் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, I don't know today's market, நேத்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா 400 பாயிண்ட் என்னமோ இருந்துச்சு, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி 700 பாயிண்ட். If you get carried away and if you go and invest, then you might burn your fingers. You don't know which asset class to buy, which stock to buy.
Yeah.
So you have to go through a professional advice.
Because 4 days back, at the time of
Budget, the market was down.
drastic down.
Market
And then
was
2 days, maybe there's a huge.
That's what I keep telling, like I've said in the presentation, markets go down, they don't stay down there. So you have to take professional advice. Like for example, when you're planning to do some higher education, you go through a professional counseling, right? அதே மாதிரி வந்துட்டு இப்போ ஒரு சின்ன வலி இருந்துச்சுன்னா we go to a pharmacist and we buy some, might be some painkiller or some other medicines to relieve it. The moment it aggravates, we try to go to a doctor. Same thing, there are so many professionals like financial doctors. You have to approach because it's a hard-earned money. You cannot play around with it. Because ஒரு மாசம் ஃபுல்லா ஸ்டாக் பண்ணாத you get your salary. That money you have to, invest it properly. What I am trying to say is that money which you are earning, please invest into those asset classes which will beat inflation and you can afford a proper living. நாளைக்கு வந்துட்டு நான் அந்த asset வாங்கணும்னா I should invest into an asset where I'll be able to afford. நாளைக்கு வந்துட்டு நான் அந்த asset வாங்க முடியலன்னா then I'm not investing properly. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு வீடு கட்டும்போது கூட பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு எஸ்டிமேட் போடுவீங்க. You will put an estimate for 10 lakhs. 6 மாசத்துல இந்த வீடு கட்டும்போது it will be like 12-13 lakhs. Why is this difference come? Why didn't we plan it? Because every month, either your brick, your sand, உங்களோட அந்த கூலியோட, labor charges, electricity, equipments, everything, prices are increasing. So you overshoot your budget. Same thing in financial planning at the time of retirement. எனக்கு வந்துட்டு 20000 ரூபாய் என்னோட மாச எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் வேணும்னா எனக்கு 15000 ரூபாய் தான் நான் சேவ் பண்ண அமௌண்ட்ல வருதுன்னா where will you go for the 5000 rupees? இன்னைக்கு நான் வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன், எனக்கு ஒரு 25000 30000 ரூபாய் என்னோட ஃபேமிலிக்கு நான் வருது. But when I retire, if I don't get that amount, I'll not be able to lead the same lifestyle. I'll be not able to meet my needs. That is why investing into various asset classes rather than traditional investment is very important. Because as we all, most of us get stuck into FDs, gold, and real estate, and we get stuck there. And I've showed you 15 years returns. They're all not in the band of 8 or 9%. Inflation is also same. We don't even realize, like I've showed you the soap, Colgate, toothpaste and all, 8-9%, that is average inflation. Normal it is much more than that. So my only conclusion is we need to, always ensure that I'm able to afford a proper living. Today if I'm going by train, you get train or a ticket 10 rupana, I should be able to afford that. And this, if you relate it to your retirement, and if you relate it to, buying some gold, it's different. Like we keep saying, if you're in a party, you can buy provisions for 10-15 days. Today, even if you take 500 rupees to the market on Sunday, you don't get 1 rupee in your pocket. That is what is happening today. Today, expenses have gone up. Commodity prices have shot up. You cannot buy anything. I remember 15 years back, if I take 50 rupees and go a bag full of vegetables I used to get from Avadi market. Today, with 500 rupees, you cannot buy vegetables even for a week or 10 days. That's the situation today. And that's why, diversification, this might be sounding small, but when we are not able to afford it, that is when it will start pinching us. And it's very, very important because you guys are just, not even finished your education, and it's very, very important. So, yeah. Inflation control ஆகாது. இப்போ கூட RBI வந்துட்டு inflation இறங்கிருக்குன்னு சொல்றாங்களே ஒழிய when RBI is telling inflation is நியூஸ்ல கேக்குறீங்களா பேப்பர் படிக்கும்போது inflation கம்மியா இருக்குன்னு RBI சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கு. inflation கம்மியா இருக்குன்னா முன்ன விட விலைவாசி மெதுவா ஏறுதுன்னு அர்த்தம். கண்ட்ரோலே ஆகாது. உன்னோட MBA ஃபீஸ் வந்துட்டு இந்த வருஷம் 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் வெச்சுக்கோ. 3 வருஷம் முன்னாடி அது 80,000 இருந்தது. 3 வருஷம் கழிச்சு இமிடியேட் 1,30,000. Right? Expenses, inflation, prices will never reduce. Prices will only go up. Consumption ஆக and more people come to work, more consumption ஆக it will only go up. And in a country like India, inflation will never go up. And we are good in producing, right? இன்னைக்கு 130 கோடி இதே ரேஞ்சில போச்சுன்னா 150 கோடி ஆயிடும் பாப்புலேஷன். விலைவாசி எப்படி குறையும்? So you have to plan. You don't think that prices will be controlled. Prices will come down. It will never come down.
Sir,
See,
one
it's very
small
simple.
thing,
Yeah.
but I feel that if you want to be a good shrewd investor, better that you avail loan. That is my advice.
You avail loan.
Yeah, because I tell you, in PF we get a very nominal interest.
Correct.
If I can take a loan
Yeah.
and invest in what? If I am a shrewd investor,
Yeah.
if I am to invest in real estate or in gold or anything, I am sure that after a certain number of years, what I am going to get in PF will be much more than what I am going to get in real estate that I earn will be much more than what I am going to earn in PF.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
in that way planning, even I have seen my own colleagues, they have taken a lot of loans, periodically they have taken loans and they have invested in this and they have amassed wealth.
No, I partly agree with you. Right? நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா இங்க ரியல் எஸ்டேட் வந்து I'm not telling no. What I'm trying to say is people go and leverage 3 or 4 houses. See, for example, if you வந்துட்டு நான் ஒரு young investor வெச்சுக்கோங்க, I'm just starting out my career. I will not have 50 lakhs in hand, right? I will have I can take a loan, right? Then I gradually pay the EMI. Then I become a owner of the house, which is good from a smart borrowing point of view. But if I have to borrow to, if I keep on borrowing for 2-3 houses, and have you seen that National Housing Bank
Yes.
residence index? What happens was over a period of time, the moment you start leveraging for too many things, your liquidity gets dried up. And same thing is, once the property value goes to a beyond a point in time, you will not have too many buyers. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து 10 லட்சம் ரூபாய்க்கு ஒரு வீடு வாங்குறேன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, there will be 100 people to buy that.
Sir, and the point is reach agala sir.
Yeah.
And the point is reach agala. What I am telling you
No,
now.
I completely-
Yes.
No, I completely agree with you. But I would suggest leveraging to buy gold and all is not a good idea. And I have enough data
Yeah, that
to
is
prove
a
it.
liquid. That is a liquid asset. You can dispose it of it
Yeah,
any time.
yeah,
That is
but
the
have you
only
seen-
advantage I
Have you
get.
seen that gold chart for 20 years?
See, there is a sudden spurt of the valuation was there.
20
Not,
years.
it was not periodically rising. Only for a certain period it was stagnant.
Yeah.
After then there was even this real estate. I tell you
Yeah.
that some 10 or
10 years, 10 years people
back,
made money, yeah.
I know that there was houses used to be sold at 10 lakhs at Kodambaka.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Today
you
they-
just go and see the very same house they are selling it for 50 lakhs.
Exactly.
So it is only a sudden spurt of this thing, a sudden rise in that. But if you are going to invest in land, it will be good. Better than investing
Better than buying a flat.
Yeah,
No, I completely agree with it. The point what I'm trying to make here is, do not leverage for too many properties. You can buy one house. Maybe you can buy a land.
But sort of a content.
Yeah. No, but when you wanted to, not have liquid investment, which is very, very important. I'll tell you, when Chennai floods happened, I'll tell you my own example. நான் Ninagarல இருக்கேன். வீட்டெல்லாம் full தண்ணி. We were stuck in house for 3 days. Me and my wife, we had very little stock at home. We made chapati, paalum illa. We prepared black tea and tea. You won't believe, sir, at that point in time, my gold didn't yield me anything, right? Whatever. Luckily, I had liquid cash at home. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்துட்டு தண்ணி இறங்கிட்ட பிறகு the stock took 1 week to come. Whatever little stock, even breads were not available in that Padamudir Choriyam. And everywhere you went, even you go to a petrol bunk now, they were only telling boss ATMs are not working, machines are not working. So liquidity is very important, I'm telling you. And even I'm telling you, if you had liquid cash or even in some liquid funds, you could have really withdrew, because banks after that they were running with mobile ATMs. Then a machine it was getting stuck. So these are all very critical. See, what I'm trying to say is, you need to have a portion of your investment always in the liquid form. Whenever you need in form of emergency. These assets which you're talking about is very important from an appreciation point of view. But what happens is, when you want to liquidate, you always don't get that, yeah, from an asset creation point of it, yes. But I would suggest, if you ask my personal opinion, might be you might be right with your friends and all. My personal opinion today also, I am telling you, I don't have a single penny on housing loan. And I also made a point, my car loan was closed 5 years before my kids got into college. Because I said to myself that I wanted to be debt free to fund their education, to take care of it and gradually build my retirement corpus. I think it was a good question, so thanks for asking.
Regarding bank loans are not healthy. So what are the advice or alternatives?
Bank loans are only healthy. Don't go take it from Marwadi. Don't take it from bank loans. No, vatti kammi.
No, so you said that you can buy some stock.
Loan எடுத்து ஸ்டாக் வாங்காதீங்கன்னு தான் சொல்றேன். லோன் எடுத்து ஷேர் மார்க்கெட்ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணாதீங்க. நான் 99ல when I was working in Tata Finance, I went to Hyundai factory for a presentation. Sir, you know what was happening? Markets were also getting battered during that time. And most of those employees there were borrowing money. Some people were withdrawing from their ATM limit or credit card cash limit. Other withdraw பண்ணி ஷேர் வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. Which is the worst thing to do. Never borrow to buy shares. Never do that.
But one thing, sir, what I am telling you, it always depends on our mental makeup, right?
Yeah.
Because if I stop at one stage earning a lot, stop. Be a contented person. Suppose if you are going for higher and higher, then you will have it. Because I know that many person who stopped at a stage realizing that it will fall. Because if he is a very shrewd investor, he knows that what will happen in future. So knowing that very well, if he is going to stop at one stage, he is earning. But those who become avaricious or very greedy, you see that they get into
Yeah,
such
greedy. The
problems.
word you said, stock market is all about, don't get
That
greedy.
is what I observe.
Yeah.
Not
Be
that what I am
disciplined.
you.
Yeah.
That is
You need to be more
my.
disciplined in stock investments. People have made money. Like Rakesh
But
Jhunjhunwala.
what is your advice about people making fast, that is making money, buying and selling immediately? That means what? They buy the shares, after 2 days when it goes by just by a rupee or two, then go for
So,
snap.
whenever investors sit here, I don't know if you have close friends. Noor Vatila, the Noor Tettavati, they would have lost money. Punters, they're called punters or traders. Only long-term investors make money. அவங்க எப்பவுமே வந்து அந்த ரெண்டு வாட்டி பணம் பண்ணாங்க இல்லையா அதை பத்தி தான் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. 98 times they would have lost their money. I'm very sure about it. I've seen lot of traders and quick traders who buy and sell stocks in 2 days. They will not be successful. If you're successful, then you're very lucky. That means your stars are very good. Punting வந்துட்டு you're not doing any research on the company. Okay, இந்த ஷேர் இன்னைக்கு ஏறும், நான் அதுல போடுறேன், உடனே I might acquire it of the same day. But chances are very minimal. You can try your luck. I've also tried that and made some money, but I've also lost.
Because I did some business on that,
Yeah.
but I never took a chance.
Yeah.
When I found that it was, I was satisfied myself.
Yeah.
Okay, this is okay, means I stopped.
Yeah.
If I had gone further, means I am sure that I would have got
See,
into
some people buy for 3
Sure.
months, 6 months or no, they made money. But like you're saying, 1 day, 2 days, it's a risk.
It's a total risk.
Depending upon நிறைய காசு இருக்கு. I mean, you can lose means people can go buy it.
Or sometimes
There
they
are
become
people-
mad.
Yeah. No, I have one of my friends who's an equity investor, large investor, and he trades heavily. But he also buys for 3 months and 5 months. And என்ன கேட்டாலே 3 months and 5 months are short term equity. It's very short term, and I don't go with his logic. And he keeps saying that என்னடா mutual funds la எப்பவுமே long term சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. What is that long term for you guys? But 3 months, 6 months, I'm not comfortable at all. Because anything can happen in a span of 3 months and 6 months. Because markets can be very volatile. Like I've showed one slide, in 1 year, you can make 24% return, but at the same time, you can lose 54 rupees of your 100 rupees. Your loss making proposition is very higher when the period is very short. There are 2 types of racers, right? You know Usain Bolt? He does 100-meter dash, right? So, நீங்க 100 meters ஓடணும்னா ஒரு சின்ன இன்ஜெக்ஷன் ஒரு டோசேஜ் எடுத்து பட் ஹீஸ் பிராக்டிஸ் I'm just giving ஒரு 100 meters ஓடணும்னா நீங்க இன்ஸ்டன்ட் வந்துட்டு ஒரு ஸ்டெராய்டு எடுத்துட்டு ஓடிடலாம். But if you have to run a marathon, ஒரு 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers marathon ஓடணும்னா you need to build stamina, and stamina will get built only over a period of time. அது நீங்க என்னதான் ஸ்டெராய்ட்ஸ் எடுத்தாலும் அது திருப்பி ஒரு 5 கிலோமீட்டர் கழிச்சு இறங்கி சொல்லுங்க திருப்பி ஸ்டெராய்டு. For running a marathon, you need to, and long-term investment is all about like marathon. It's not a 100 meters dash. And trading is like 100 meters dash. You can make it, you can go away. But for marathon, you need to have stamina. So long-term investment is all about that. I'm a long-term investor. So I'm a strong believer of this.